So this is just an overview of the setup process. You get 2 balloons in the kit, 18-inch storage balloon and a 10-inch balloon to get you started off. You get the cell, of course, and 2 tubes to help with filling balloons. A pair of gloves, I'm not sure if those are the final ones, I'll just see what I can source. And around 30 grams of sodium hydroxide. I might drop this down to like 20-25 grams just because the cell isn't all the way full. And of course you lose water over time. I'm shooting for like a 10-50% concentration is the goal. I showed the cell in detail, the microcontroller in the front, there's the USB-C port, and I showed that there's a diode in there temporarily for testing because I didn't include one on the PCB. But the final version, everything will be integrated. And I did show the terminals there you connect a lab bench power supply to. That is the high output version, so you get the plates that are all the way around. And then I removed the tubes from their little storage places. Those are probably going to be redesigned to make it easier to remove those. But you get clips integrated with rubber bands, makes it easy to connect stuff. Now it's time to glove up. I'll probably just fast forward this process because it takes me some time to put on those gloves, but there we go. So I took the lid off the bottle and I showed that I'm using distilled water. You can use tap water or any other water for this. I mean, it won't affect it too much, but for the longest cell life, you're going to want to use the good distilled water to get the highest purity hydrogen output. And I cut the corner off the bag. I just found that that was the safest way to do this. Just get as much of it in there as you can. And you can wash the rest down your sink or throw it away. It is drain cleaner after all. And then screw it on tightly, make sure it's tight so you can, because it will be pressurized later on. Make sure all the tubes are connected and then swirl it around a little bit to mix it all together. Should take about a minute, and it might heat up during this process because it has the sodium hydroxide has the heat of hydration. It'll heat up when it gets dissolved in water. That's completely normal, and it'll cool back down. And you should be able to just use it after this without waiting for it to cool down. But yeah, I installed the tube there. It makes it really easy to do a first test where you bubble it in water and make sure the output you're getting is correct. So that tube that goes straight through is the storage tube, and you'll connect that storage tube in a glass of water in this case, and that allows me to pressurize the cell and start getting some hydrogen output. And you can see the bubbles start forming there, coming out. So I take the camera in, and you can see the bubbles are coming out of there. And yeah, I do show that it is hydrogen, so you get like a lazy poof when you light it up, and that means it's pure hydrogen, which is good. You would get a loud pop if there was some oxygen in there. But the cell does support multiple configurations if you need like HHO or separate oxygen hydrogen outputs. The default one is separating the hydrogen out and then storing it, which I found was the most convenient. But yeah, you can remove the gloves now because the cell isn't completely sealed, and I showed that I can power it with a USB-C power bank, no issues there. And you still get the bubbles out, so it is very flexible with what you can do with it and what you can power it from, which is really nice. It makes it convenient to use. The last thing I wanted to show here is connecting a balloon because I messed it up during the initial setup process. But it's pretty simple. There's a marked valve area on the balloon, and you just insert the Bowden tube in there, and then you wrap the rubber band around it a few times to secure it in place. It does help if you remove the tube and it kind of came off accidentally here, which helped me secure it. And then you can just to keep that rubber band on there, you just press it into the clip, just pull it on there, and it should be securely attached. And then you just press the button like normal on the Arduino to start pumping that gas out and doing the gas transfer. And you can see over time that slowly but surely the gas from the storage tank comes out. That's probably my biggest critique at the moment. I'm looking into possibly increasing the pump voltage, but for now it's just to 5 volts. And lastly, to cover all my bases here, I'm just showing a very sped up time lapse of filling an 18-inch balloon. This was with the duty cycle enabled, and I was probably averaging less than 5 watts, which is why it took like 18 hours to fill this balloon. So very slow, but it was also the most efficient it could be. It was running at very low voltage, so that's probably the best way to run these cells, is let them run overnight, so you don't waste any power, and then you just have all the hydrogen you need in the morning.